Stop reporting the guys who are just good. If they're better than you, suck it up. They're better than you. Do not report those guys. You need to learn how to recognize what a good player plays like and what a cheater plays like so that they get better information. Stop reporting the good players. Hey, welcome back to GT Canada. Today we are reviewing the Call of Duty Warzone ban that happened this week. So a lot of you have already heard about this ban that took place, and I wanted to break down what exactly that is and what that means for the everyday gamer. So first of all, the ban only affects PC players from what I can find. So this is a specific ban looking at cheaters on the PC version of this game. So I want to review the official release from Activision so that you can see kind of a breakdown of what they've done and what they're talking about doing. Now, this ban, it's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of famous streamers that have publicly said, I'm out, I'm peacing out, this is it, enough's enough, I just can't deal with cheaters anymore. Enough of them have raised enough of a stink that Activision said, we're about to lose some money here if we don't get something going on. Activision claims over 75 million players across console, PC, and every device that they support. That's a lot of players, and that's a significant revenue stream for them with the current model that they're running. They want to protect that model. And if famous streamers are all just jumping ship, that means that they don't get the exposure, and then everybody else is not going to want to play that game. Their favorite streamers aren't playing anymore either. This could be a big hurt to them, and they got to do something about it. When we're talking about cheating, what are we talking about? First, we're talking about people who are using cheat software. The term hacker and cheater is kind of swapped interchangeably, but the thing to note is we're not talking about hackers. We're talking about people who download software, install it on their computer, and use that to activate certain cheat options, such as auto-aim, wall hacks, and that sort of thing. So we're not talking about a smart group of people. We're talking about people who simply know how to download software, install it, and click some checkboxes. We need to refer to them as cheaters. That's what they are. They are cheating. They are not hackers. Hackers actually go in, they write their own code, and they make their own changes. We are not trying to stop hackers. We are trying to stop cheaters. And the bulk of the cheaters out there will be caught with this current setup. So let's dive into the actual facts of what they've done. So this is on the Activision website. First off, they say, today we banned 60,000 accounts for confirmed cases of using cheat software in Warzone. That brings 300,000 PERMA bans worldwide since launch. Think of this, 75 million players, 300,000 total PERMA bans so far. That's a very small percentage overall. If you feel that you're in a lobby where everybody is a cheater, the odds of everybody that was in that lobby, all 149 people that weren't you, are not going to be part of these 300,000 permabans. There are good players out there, and they are very good, and they get reported all the time for being cheaters, and it is not justified. So far, I have heard some of these good players feel that they've been what's called shadow banned. And shadow banning is where you can still log into your account, but they put you in lobbies with other players who are suspected cheaters. And that way the cheaters can play together and they can just have fun like that. So if you've been wrongfully accused of being a cheater and you find yourself with a shadow ban in these lobbies, there are ways that you can contact Activision, get them to review your specific account and get you out of that shadow ban. But if you feel that you are encountering hackers and cheaters a lot, you may also be shadow banned. And the way you would know that is it takes a long time to get into a lobby, and when you do, it fills up slowly. And then when you do finally get to play, it seems like everybody's cheating. So that's the indicator that you are shadow banned. If you are perma-banned, you would know. As soon as you log in, it says, hey, you've been banned. You can't log into this account. In addition to the bans that they did this week, they also say we're continuing our efforts to identify and address cheat providers at the source who distribute unauthorized third-party software. So they're going after the guys that make the hacking software themselves. Now, I know there are some rumors that Activision themselves are the ones that are releasing the cheating software because somehow people feel that that makes the game more viable for Activision. I don't know if I believe that because the game doesn't survive if it's known to be full of cheaters. And I just can't see, like myself, I would not continue to play. So Activision says, yeah, blah, 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 we're committed to delivering a fair and fun experience for all players. Right. They want money. They want you to feel comfortable about giving them their money, so they're going to put that in there. Since they've launched, they say we've taken a number of dedicated actions. So these are actions that they've already taken. So weekly back-end security updates. Yes, there are frequent updates, and anytime you log in and it says update requires restart, you know that something has changed.
What is it?
Glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something.
Improved in-game reporting mechanisms. Yes, it is much easier to report a cheater now than it was before. As soon as you die, there's a button to push that says, report this player. I think a lot of people abuse this, and this is a call out to everyone in the community. If you feel that you have been a victim of actual cheating, watch that player. What you're looking for is, does the sight just kind of snap to the person's head, and is it all headshots? If they're getting body shots on a guy that's fully exposed, that's not a cheater. He's just a good player. He's a guy that knows how to control recoil. If you're seeing guys shooting through walls when they don't even see the guy, that's usually an indicator that you're dealing with a cheater. Stop reporting the guys who are just good. If they're better than you, suck it up. They're better than you. Do not report those guys because that just puts extra noise into Activision's inbox so that they have to try to figure out who is actually cheating and who is just a good player. You need to learn how to recognize what a good player plays like and what a cheater plays like so that they get better information. Stop reporting the good players. And that's the end of that rant. They've added two-factor authentication, which has invalidated over 180,000 suspected accounts. The great news about the 2FA, so that's only active on the PC accounts, but what that does, it means you can't play the game without having an email address and a valid cell phone number. You have to have those two. If an email address gets banned for cheating, it's tied to a cell phone number. Those two are garbage. They're useless. So if a player wants to get back into the game, create a new account, they have to create another Gmail account and use a free software service that allows you to create a new phone number. The thing with that is many providers that do the free phone numbers, they do not support text authentications for 2FA. So they may have to go and switch their phone number with their provider, which adds an extra step that most people don't want to do. They'll just be like, you know what, the gig is up. I'm going to just get good and stop cheating. So that's good. They've eliminated numerous unauthorized third-party software providers. I'm not sure exactly what that means. So there are third-party software providers that create hacking tools. I don't know what they mean they've eliminated them. My guess is I know that they have gone after some of these guys with legal action, and those companies can't afford. They're just some script kiddies in a basement that have figured out how to put these together. They can't afford legal fees and all that, so they fold. They go under, they sign an agreement that says, I'm sorry, I promise I'll never do this again. Similar to what Sony did to GeoHot, where he said, fine, let's just drop the case. I promise I'm never going to touch a Sony device again, and I'll just not deal with you guys anymore. And that's what happened. The case got dropped. Increased dedicated teams and resources across software development, engineering, data science, legal, and monitoring. This is a little bit sneaky. So they increased the dedicated teams. I know some people are reporting that they've hired more to increase these teams. I'm not sure about that. I think what they did, they went down to Bob in accounting and said, hey, Bob, for 2 hours a week, we want you to sit in on the anti-cheat panel and provide your input to that panel. And Bob said, but I don't know anything about cheating. And they said, that's okay, Bob. We just need you to sit in there because we said on our website that we increased our dedicated teams. So now, for that 2 hours, you will be dedicated to anti-cheat. And Bob said, sure, whatever you guys want. That could be what that means. They may have hired more individuals to be part of their cheating team. It's unlikely. They probably just moved the resources around so that they have more people focused on it and talking about it. Those are the things that they've done already. Then they talk about what they're also doing to make it better moving forward. So they're going to enhance their anti-cheat software, internal anti-cheat software. That is great news. That does two things. That confirms that, number one, they do have anti-cheat software. It seems like it's not very good, but they do have something in place, because a lot of people are wondering, do they even have anything in place? The answer here, yes, they do. Number two, they've enhanced it. How good are those enhancements? We'll find out as time goes on, but for now, they have said, yes, we've made enhancements to that. They've also added additional detection technology. They're going to have better information. When you report someone, they'll have better tools to detect if that individual is hacking. I don't understand why that's so hard. A lot of people can just look at somebody and how they play and know that they're cheating. Those are the easy ones. The ones that aren't so easy to figure out, those are the guys that get a shadow ban and put into those other lobbies with other cheaters, and then they have to say, no, I'm not a cheater, and here's my proof. Adding new resources dedicated to monitoring and enforcement. We talked about that already. That's actually part of the increased dedicated teams. So regular communication updates on progress, more two-way dialogue. They're going to tell us more when they do make changes to the cheating technology and that sort of thing, and provide more feedback to you, the user, so that you have more information. That's probably going to just be more Twitter announcements or Instagram or whatever. I can't imagine. Like, they're not going to call you up and say, hey, how was your experience after the last game? Zero tolerance for cheat providers. I think this is kind of a guess, but they're going to be going after anyone who puts out software hard and hit them with legal notices. It doesn't take anything. In Canada, it costs $150 to file a lawsuit against another individual. It doesn't even have to be valid. You just file the paperwork, and it's up to that person to defend themselves. These cheat providers, a lot of them don't have the money to be able to defend themselves, and it's just not worth it. So they'll take the money while they can, and then they'll shut down when they get the cease and desist order. Consistent and timely bans. If their anti-cheat software is as good as they're trying to imply here, they will have a steady flow of new users reported to them through that software. And as you, the player, reports players who are cheaters, who you have identified and said, this guy is definitely a cheater, they'll be able to run their gameplay through their cheat software, and it'll say, yep, that guy's a cheater, and then they'll just ban them. They're not going to wait until they got 60,000 people and say, there, we did another 60,000. They'll just say, this week we banned another 40,000. And then you'll start to hear about it. You will. You'll hear about it on the YouTube and the streamers that are getting caught in this. So the security and enforcement team have additional measures coming, both preventative and enforcement throughout this year, to root out both cheaters and cheat providers. That is excellent news, and they kind of have to say that. Whether it's going to actually happen the way that you think it will based on how you read this is yet to be seen, because we don't know. We don't know how they're going to handle this. But if they're serious about this, we will see the results of that. So we know that cheaters are constantly looking for vulnerabilities, and we continue to dedicate resources 24/7 to identify and combat cheaters, including aimbots, wall hacks, trainers, stat hacks, texture hacks, leaderboard hacks, injectors, hex editors, and any third-party software that is used to manipulate game data or memory. So there's a lot going on there. And how much they're actually looking at, the first few are the easy ones, the aimbots, the wall hacks. Those ones are the easy ones. You can spot those in an instant. The other thing you're not going to get quite so much. So the texture hacks. I think back to when I played Half-Life 2 multiplayer. I played on a very bare bones PC with a low-end graphics card. And what I found was there was certain textures that my video card could not handle. And what happened was all of those textures got replaced with a black and pink checkered texture instead that was just very flat. It actually worked out to my advantage because there were a lot of maps that started coming out, custom maps and custom player skins that my video card just couldn't display. And you want to talk about easy? When you see a player running across the screen that's just pink and black checkers, they're very easy to spot. And so they can't hide in shadows because they just glow through the shadows. So I think that's what it's talking about for texture hacks. Now, it's tough because you don't want to punish somebody who just has a low-end video card that can't play certain textures. And maybe they've changed how the textures are handled nowadays versus, I mean, that was a while ago. But I do know that players on PC will change their settings to make players pop more and make the background just kind of disappear. Personally, I play with colorblind mode because there's certain settings that allow the players to show up more in the dark shadows and that sort of thing. It's not cheating. The software has that built in. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. So at the end, the final statement, there is no place for cheating and we're committed to this cause. We are listening and will not stop in our efforts. And of course, they have to say that. They have 75 million players and they are trying to protect their property. They want to continue to make money, and the only way to do that is to make you, the player, comfortable that when you enter a lobby, you have 150 legit players and it's purely skill versus skill. And I agree, that's what I would like as well. So I really do hope to see that there are some positive improvements from the changes that they've made. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot of other great videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel down below as well. We'd love to see you again, but until next time, have a great day.